Okay, cool. The recording has started. So let me introduce myself. Let's see what is the agenda after that. Like coming to myself, Hitesh, I do have 12 plus years of experience in IT. And like coming to Snowflake since 2018, I'm working on Snowflake. Okay. Um, right now, I'm working as a Snowflake architect and subject matter expert in one of the MNCs. This is and I started the skill scaler to kind of it's my own platform to kind of train and provide some assistance on this. Um, I mean, who are interested to learn, right? I have started my own platform called Skill Scaler through which I'm giving trainings. So this is pretty much about myself and like coming to the agenda for today's session, right? Like we'll try to see like what who this course is for, what are the prerequisites for this course, why you have to learn Snowflake, and then the other stuff like technical reasons, as I said, right? What are the technical reasons that you should I mean why Snowflake is hot skill. Okay, so here who this course is for, right? First of all, can you guys see my screen and hear me before we proceed further?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So this course is in specific. Suppose if you are already working, right, and working as a developer, lead, a tester, admin, architect, managers, right, for them, okay, whatever is your background, because we'll be starting from scratch to advanced level, okay. So from anyone, even folks who are already working on Snowflake, if they wanted to gain expertise, right, they can join, okay, and then folks with I mean. SQL knowledge or exposure, even if you are a fresher I mean, or even who are if you're a candidate working on non-IT side, right? We'll have since we'll be starting from scratch. Okay, you can also follow. And if you're not see SQL is the skill which is mandatory for Snowflake. If you're not from data background, right? Suppose if you are working on non-IT side, or like if you are not from data background, then SQL sessions will be separately taken. In the sense, like this is optional part. Like so, I mean, who are not from SQL background, they can join this. If you are already from data background, you can skip these sessions. That's what it is. Okay. And then, as I said, what are the prerequisites for these courses? SQL is the prerequisites. Mandatory skill which is required to learn Snowflake is SQL, because Snowflake, I hope like everyone are aware what at least what is Snowflake. It is like cloud data platform. Okay. Primarily earlier it was used as a cloud data warehouse. So here, uh, like in case if you're not familiar with what is data warehouse, we'll be discussing all the I mean, see whatever terms I'll be using, right? If you're not from data background, probably you would not be aware. Don't worry, we'll be discussing each and every topic in detail. What is data warehouse? Basically, you can design database in two ways. Okay, I'll explain you soon. Like I mean, in this demo itself, what it is and what is a data warehouse, on at least on high level. Okay, so you have a lot of skills, right? Why you have to learn Snowflake? Okay, see, the reason why you have to learn Snowflake is it is demanding on hard skill in market. Okay, the reason, technical reasons I'll explain you. If you take an average, okay, everyone will learn Snowflake with some intention, right? I mean, if you are learning some new skill, there should be some intention, right? Some motive behind it. So if you take Snowflake, it is a hot skill. It is demanding skill in market. Suppose if you wanted to switch to Snowflake and I mean start I mean your career on Snowflake, right? That is, say whatever technology you're working on now, or even if you're fresher, if you'd like to start with Snowflake, these are the packages that you get in India. These are not exaggerated. Our candidates, a lot of candidates got, I mean, the packages. This is the average package what you would get. That is, if you take, if your overall experience, if you claim 1 to 4 years of overall experience in IT, out of which 1 to 3 years of relevant experience on Snowflake. See why? I mean, companies will not expect more experience on Snowflake is since Snowflake is a new skill, right? Okay, new skill candidates. I mean, companies or clients will not expect more relevant experience on Snowflake, even if it is 1 to 3 years. So if you keep 2 years, 2 to 3 years of relevant experience, you will get better calls as well. Okay, so and why if you take even packages, it is more than average. Not just in India, even in US, the billing rate is high for Snowflake. The reason being, Snowflake is a new skill. All of a sudden, it started booming. In the sense, a lot of clients started using Snowflake. Okay, so there is a lot of resource gap. Even now, if you have to get a good candidate on Snowflake, right? Good candidate in the sense they won't expect experts. At least they should be aware of the futures. I mean, few some exposure on Snowflake, okay, not an expert, okay. At least say they should be familiar with each and every feature, and then how to handle the errors, different scenarios. They'll try to ask in interviews, okay. Even if you ask them, like I mean, um, like you will be hard to find candidate with good right skills on Snowflake. The reason being, since this is a new skill, and candidates with real experience on Snowflake are very less, okay. So there is a lot of resource gap in the sense the requirement is more, and candidates with real experience on Snowflake are very less, okay. That's the reason Snowflake has demand. Got it? That's the reason even you would get more packages. These are average packages in India. Even if you can get more if you're getting right opportunity. Recently, our candidate with 12 years of experience got 42 even now, because like now a market is a bit slow down, right? Even now, our candidates are getting offers. The reason is, if you take our, let me show you one thing. Give me a second. What will be, I mean, why our candidates are clicking is, okay, you'll get complete resources to crack on your own. That is, for example, if I show a daily topic wise, whatever topic we are covering, you would get complete resources for you. Say, suppose if I pick one specific topic, okay, you would get the code, okay, the content, okay, and then interview preparation kit with all possible questions and answers and scenario based everything, okay. On that will help you to with answers to I mean on that topic, so that you can crack interview and certification on your own, okay. You will be covering all those things, whatever scenarios or issues that you face in, as well as you'd get that what kind of questions you can expect on that, and with answers, okay. And then even a project, right? Many candidates where they fail is to explain project, like what, suppose if you are working on Oracle or SQL server, I mean, or any ETL tool or reporting tool, you would claim like you have worked on Snowflake for certain years, right? Say 2 to 3 years. Then you should explain your project, right? For that also you would get complete resources, okay. So how to explain your project? Let me show you one second quickly. You'll get complete resources for you to explain your project, as well as what sort of issues you face, right? The major challenges that you have to explain, all the content. Suppose if you take this project overview session, here you have got how to explain your project, the complete details, okay. And then what kind of issues you face in migration from any RDBMS to here. Before I show you these things, right? See what kind of projects you'll have on Snowflake, or what kind of work you'll have is, majority of the projects would be migration projects. Okay, let me show you. Since Snowflake is new and it has a lot of, I'll explain you what technically why Snowflake has what is the reason that is there is a demand for it, and why a lot of clients are using Snowflake. But a lot of Snowflake projects, they would be on migration. Okay, say if you have data in SQL Server, Oracle, any RDBMS, okay, I'll show you why they'll migrate from RDBMS to Snowflake. And even say like Teradata, Salesforce, SAP, Hadoop, right? Data will be migrated to Snowflake. Here in these scenarios, that is especially Teradata and SAP, right? Why clients will migrate to Snowflake is because of cost. Okay, Snowflake is economical compared to this Teradata and SAP. It's not just because of performance. If you take RDBMS, SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, these are relational databases, right? So this ones, why they'll migrate to Snowflake because of performance issues. Okay, I'll show you why technically why Snowflake has advantage. Okay, suppose let me explain. See, basically, whenever you design a database, right? Okay, any database, you design it for two purposes. One is you as a um, like transactional database. That is, suppose whatever is exposed to front end. Say you have a website in back end, whatever data that is stored, right? I mean, that will be stored in a transactional database. I'll explain this in detail. Okay, you can design a database for two purposes. One is transactional purpose. We call that as OLTP, and then analytical purpose. So Snowflake is meant for OLAP, that is data analytics. Okay, data analytics. That is, you primarily initially Snowflake was used as a cloud data warehouse. This is the purpose of Snowflake. Okay, primarily it was used as a cloud data warehouse. I'll explain what is data warehouse in detail in our regular sessions. You don't have to worry. Okay, and Snowflake, it has got a lot of advantages. Okay, I'll explain. First, we'll see the core reason why clients will migrate to Snowflake, and then we'll see other features. Okay, so if you take any relational database, right, like Oracle, you would have heard about this, like Oracle SQL Server, MySQL, PostgreSQL, any RDBMS. So how it is, the architecture, this architecture we call it a shared disk architecture. What it is all our data. Okay, suppose if you install any of the softwares, like say Oracle SQL Server in one computer, you call that as a database server, right? So all data, whatever you insert or do, right? I mean, whatever you load, like that will be stored in the hard disk of that computer. Suppose if I install SQL Server in my machine, for example, okay. So this is like server, my local server, okay, database server. So whatever data insert, that will be stored in the hard disk of my computer, right? Okay, and then if you have to run any queries, so right, whatever data that is stored in a database, relational database, you will use SQL to query that data, right? SQL, structured query language. So this I mean, uh, whenever you run a query by users if they run any queries, SQL queries, that has to access data from your hard disk, right? So like if you need to run anything, you need compute power. What is compute power? Like you need RAM, hard disk, right? I mean, sorry, RAM, and then CPU, right? Memory, this kind of things. We call it as compute power. Okay, so it will make use of the processor. Suppose if you run any query, in order to get data that is stored in the hard disk of this computer, you need a processor, RAM, all these compute resources, right? So it will make use of the compute resources of this machine. Okay, in whichever machine you installed that software, you call that as database server, and all data will be stored in hard disk of that computer. If you have to run any queries, it makes use of the compute resources of this machine, right? So here, suppose if I mean nowadays, right, data is growing very fast. Okay, lot of data, not earlier it is just structured data. In your RDBMS, other thing is you can store only structured data, unstructured data or semi-structured data. I'll explain what is structured, unstructured. Suppose if you take unstructured, nowadays a lot of unstructured data, in the sense, say your images, PDFs, audio files, video files, this kind of data is also growing, right? But you can when the compatibility of this unstructured data, this kind of data, say audio files, video files, images, PDFs, you call it as unstructured data, that the compatibility of to store that data in your RDBMS is very less. Okay, but in Snowflake you can store any kind of data. Okay, that's one advantage. There are other advantages I'll explain here. Since volume is growing very fast, right? So if your volume grows, okay, now you have say 10 terabyte of data in your database. Suppose if it increases, okay, to say some petabyte, for example, then what you will have to do? We have one option. What is that? We can increase the hard disk of this capacity, the hard disk capacity of this computer, right? Okay, this particular computer's hard disk capacity we can increase if volume increases. But if a lot of users start using, right, if many queries try to run, there is certain limit in terms of how many queries it can run in parallel, right? Even you would have observed for your computer, if you try to do a lot of things, if you play a game, if you try to use it by opening multiple applications, what it will slow down, right? Sometimes it will hang as well. What is the reason? You are using all compute power. Okay, if so, man, based on how many queries you are running parallelly at same point of time. If many queries start using, what will happen to this particular server? I mean, the compute resources will be exhausted, right? That is all compute power, whatever it has, it will go off. So in that case, what you have to do, you have to increase the capacity of your compute as well. That is, say, you can upgrade your processor to high-end processor, and then like you can increase RAM, right? You can increase the capacity of RAM that you have in that machine, but there is certain limit, right? So even if you upgrade it to high-end processor, beyond that you can't increase, right? You can, this is like, see, if you are increasing hard disk, RAM, upgrading processor, this comes under vertical scaling. That is, for single computer, you are increasing the compute resources, the compute power you are trying to increase. That is like you are kind of making it a big mission. One big mission will do the all the work for you. Okay, that is like vertical scaling. But you can't distribute the work. In case of RDMS, it is like you can't distribute the work to multiple computers. Okay, that is, you can't create a cluster means group of computers and then distribute that work. Say if many users start running, so they can like distribute that workload to multiple computers. That you can't do in case of RDBMS. Okay, so if so whenever that volume of data increases and number of users increase, right, your relational database will kind of, I mean, you'll start facing issues, performance issues. Okay, majorly performance issues is what you face in case of RDBMS, like Oracle SQL Server, especially for data warehouse. What is data warehouses? You will be storing all the data across your organization. Okay, all, like if you have multiple departments, all the data will be stored in, I mean, in your data warehouse. That is, you will design database in such a way. I'll explain what is data warehouse in our regular sessions. That is, like on high level, if I have to show what it is, let me show you. You'll combine data from multiple sources and then maintain all the data in one place. Okay, that is like it is bigger database, right? It will have all the data across your organization, so the volume of data will be still more. Especially for data warehouses, you will face more performance issues because the volume will be more, because you are storing all data across your organization. Don't worry about data warehouse, I'll explain that in detail in our regular sessions. Okay, then, so that's when you have to like kind of distribute your workload, right? So that's when Hadoop came in. Big data, you would have heard about big data, right? But big data has its own class. So in order to overcome all these limitations, Snowflake has came up with its own architecture. Let me show you the Snowflake architecture. Okay, what is that? So what is Snowflake architecture is, we call it as multi-cluster shared data architecture. Okay, I'll explain what it is in our upcoming sessions. On high level, what it is here, in your Snowflake architecture, all your data will be stored in storage layer. Okay, you have three layers in Snowflake architecture. Storage is separate layer, compute. Okay, the query compute, we call it as query processing, that is a separate layer, and then we have another layer called cloud services. What is the main advantages? All your data, whatever you load into Snowflake, right, it will be stored in the storage layer in cloud. Okay, in cloud, you don't have any limit in terms of volume of data that you can store. Okay, you can store any volume of, I mean, how much ever volume of data you want, you can store in cloud. Since all your data in Snowflake is stored in cloud, there is no limit in terms of the volume, the capacity that you can store. Okay, here, like how it will be stored is, it uses a different approach. Like say, it stores in micro partitions and hybrid columnar way. I'll explain that in detail in our regular sessions. We'll have a detailed session on storage, like how data will be stored in backend. Okay, here storage is separate and then compute is separate. So all your data will be stored in cloud. Okay, in storage layer, and query processing. How, in order to run your queries, you will get, I mean, compute power separately. It is not coupled. Suppose if you take this RDBMS, right? Your any relational databases, your data is stored in the same computer, and also compute. And that is, if you run any queries, it will make use of the compute resources of this machine, right? The same computer. Got it? So it is coupled architecture. So suppose you don't want to I mean, you see, you'll not be running queries all the time, right? Suppose over the weekends, you don't want you'll not be running any queries on top of that database. Okay, in that case, you can't kind of shut down this machine. Got it? See, especially in cloud, this is fine. This is whatever I explained is this is in your on premises. That is, if you install in one computer, it will be making use of the computer resource of that machine. But cloud came in, right? In cloud, you don't have to do anything. That is, you don't have to maintain. Usually, how it is all these servers. What if they are maintaining all these servers? I mean, this database servers, all this, they'll have different databases, right? They'll have different servers as well. I mean, different computers which will store data, and that you call it as database server, right? All these servers they'll maintain at one place. You call that as data center. Earlier, clients used to maintain their data centers on their own. Okay, but there are a lot of costs involved. Suppose you have installed Oracle, okay, or SQL Server. You have to suppose if you take SQL Server, all right, they would have bought SQL Server license or Oracle license that, and then they have installed that software. Then again, they will release updates, right? So if you take this Oracle or SQL Server, that software there are different versions. Suppose SQL Server, if you take, you have 2012, 2014, 2017. That way they'll release updates. That time, if they go for upgrading, there'll be additional cost involved, right? Okay, the effort and cost is involved. And then if suppose if they have to maintain this servers on their own, they have to take care of a lot of things. What are those? Let me explain you quickly. They have to take care of, I mean, infrastructure. That is, first they have to buy that computers, and then they have to kind of provide electricity, and they should always maintain it on their own. A lot of things are there, right? In order to overcome them, cloud came in. There are a lot of public cloud providers, like say majorly from Amazon you have AWS, from Microsoft you have Azure, from Google you have GCP, Google Cloud Platform, right? So there, what advantage you get is you don't have to maintain your machines. I mean, the servers. You in cloud, you would get the computers. Okay, whichever software you want, you can use. Or there are different ways. Okay, how cloud providers operate. You don't have to worry about anything. How it is, suppose if you want a computer of certain capacity for a certain period, say one day, you can pay only for that one day and get it. I mean, the cost also is minimal. That's why majority of the clients, right, they're migrating to cloud. Already they have migrated, and few are on the way to migrate to cloud, right? So in cloud, it is like your clients doesn't have to worry about anything. Okay, they'll pay only for what they use. Okay, suppose they wanted to store certain volume of data, they'll pay only for that volume. Okay, so here this cloud providers will dig in detail more on this. It is just a demo session, right? So I'll cover more on cloud computing in our regular sessions. So usually I mean, cloud providers, they'll operate in three models: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. If you take Snowflake, right, it is software as a service. What it is primarily, um, if you take the cloud models, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, on high level, like it is based on, see here, how much you wanted to manage, okay, yourself, and how much your cloud provider will be managing. Okay, based on this, they have built these three models. What are this? Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. If it is infrastructure as a service, okay, it is like show. I mean, take this example. It will be easy for you to understand. I mean, on high level. Suppose if you wanted to burger, right? Like, I mean, you would have suppose if you take the case of burger, if it is homemade burger, you have to take care of everything. That is like your on premises. That is, your clients will manage all the servers on their own. Infrastructural services, like you would get a rented kitchen, they will provide you kitchen, electricity, grill. You will have to manage few things, and you can prepare your burger. That is like infrastructure as service. In cloud, you will get computer, you can install whatever software you want. Okay, and you will have to manage that software, I mean, your data, all these things. That is infrastructure as service. Platform as services, even you will get that software as well. They will install you, they would have installed that software for you. You will have to manage your data, and few things you will have to take care. Okay, that is like um like You just have to cook the burger here in this case. Okay. And software as a service is like a majority of the things the cloud provider only will take care. Okay, that is, say, you will just have to load the data and manage your data. You don't have to worry about anything. Our Snowflake is a software as a service. Okay, so they will kind of manage majority of the things on their own. Got it? Okay, say you don't have to create partitions, you don't have to create indexes. Okay, majority of the things, admin related stuff, Snowflake only will take care, since it is software as a service. Got it? That is one major advantage. If you take other things, right? What are competitors for Snowflake is, if you take in like AWS, you have Redshift. Redshift is a cloud data warehouse, and then in Azure you have Synops. Okay, all these things are platform as a service. But if you take Snowflake, it is software as a service. And another main advantage for Snowflake is it is available on all public cloud platforms. Okay, Snowflake is available on all public cloud platforms, like say Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so irrespective of whichever cloud has demand, right? I mean, if you take, sometimes a few clients will go for AWS, few clients will go for Azure, right? So irrespective of whichever your client is using, if they can go for Snowflake and you'll have demand. Got it? If you learn Snowflake, that is one thing. In technically here, since all the data is stored in cloud, you'll get, I mean, there is no limit in terms of volume of data that you can store. Okay, and you can see, suppose now you're storing 1 terabyte of data in your Snowflake. Okay, so for that entire month, it is like you will pay $23. That too in Snowflake, whatever data you are trying to load, right? By default, it will get encrypted and compressed. Okay, you will be paying storage cost on top of compressed data. So storage costs are very minimal in case of Snowflake. Mainly what you pay is compute cost. So here storage is separate, compute is separate, right? So what advantage you have is, suppose, as I said, over the weekends, you are not running any queries. You don't want the compute power. Then in that case, what you can do, you can kind of turn off your compute. Since, see, here it is coupled, right? Coupled, all your storage and compute is in single computer. But in case of Snowflake, since it is separate, storage is separate, compute is separate. That's one main advantage here. uh, so since storage is separate, compute is separate, you can kind of turn off your compute anytime. If you, over the weekends, if you don't want compute power, you can turn off. Okay, and storage, how much ever volume of data you are storing for the entire month, based on that you will pay. And if it increases, say if it is 1 terabyte now, over a period of time, if it goes to, say, some I mean, to some terabytes, right? Say even petabytes. Okay, you don't have to worry, since it is in cloud. You can you will get like unlimited scale, in the sense you can store any volume of data and you will pay only for what you use. Okay, and then query processing, how it is done in Snowflake is, it is through virtual warehouses. Okay, it is through virtual warehouses. What is virtual warehouses? It is not a data warehouse, guys. Okay, virtual warehouse is different. What is data warehouses? On high level, what is virtual warehouses? It is nothing but a cluster of compute nodes. Node or machine is nothing but your computer. Okay, you will get virtual warehouses in different sizes: extra small, small, medium, large, XL. Okay, what it is, let me show you. Say, see, Snowflake UI, I'll show you quickly. Say, 1 second. Let me show you Snowflake UI quickly. See, you don't have to install anything for Snowflake, since it is software as a service. You just need browser and internet. Okay. Here, I'll show you how to create Snowflake. It will just take 5 minutes to create a Snowflake account. We'll be covering each and everything in detail, topic wise. Okay. Even the code, whatever we use for practice, right? That will be shared with you. Here, suppose all our data will be stored in in the in cloud, in case of Snowflake, right? Suppose if you have to run any query, say select statement, select star from some specific table, right? So If I have to run any queries, I need compute power, right? Okay. So where I would get compute power is, in case of Snowflake, is through virtual warehouses. We have something called virtual warehouses. If you go here, you can see you can create different virtual warehouses of different sizes. Okay, so you can suppose if I have to run this query, how I would get compute power, processor and RAM is through this warehouse. I have chosen this warehouse. Okay, if you see, if you click on resize, see you can observe multiple things: extra small, small, medium, large. What it is suppose if I choose extra small, I would get to run this query. I would get compute power of one machine. Okay, one computer power I'll get. If I choose small, I'll get compute power of two machines to run my query. There is more compute power you would get, more processor, more RAM. Got it? The same way, if you choose like say large or extra large, suppose extra large, okay, I would get compute power of 8 missions. That is, in the back end, I'll be getting a cluster of 16 compute nodes. Got it? Let me show you. See here. There is some, sir. Yeah. If you choose extra small, you would get compute power of one machine. Okay. Small, compute power of two machines. Medium, 4. Large, 8. Okay. Excel, 16. That is, it is keep on doubling. What it is in the back end, you will get a cluster of compute. I mean, suppose if you choose L, right? You will that is our virtual warehouse size is L. You would get compute power of 8 machines. A cluster of 8 computers will work for you, not just one computer. Okay. I mean, that much power you would get. Got it? See, this way, if you go for, say, you can increase your warehouse size to 6XL. Up to 6XL, you can increase. So, what it is that too, anytime you will be able to increase on fly. If you try to change this warehouse size, right, within fraction of seconds, I think I'm using a, okay. The reason here why I'm facing this issue is I'm using a different role. Let me change it. Suppose it is extra small now, right? Suppose I wanted to make it as XL. XL means how much power you would get. You would get a cluster of 16 computers. Cluster means group. A group of 16 computers you would get. Okay. I mean, that much power you would get to run my query. See, if I choose this, within fraction of seconds, it will kind of increase. I mean, you can increase the compute power within in a fraction of seconds. So your client doesn't have to worry about compute power. Okay, they can increase the compute capacity to any level. 6XL means it is a cluster of 512 compute nodes. You'll get a group of 512 computers in the backend. That much power. Not just that, there is something called like auto scale mode. Okay, in Snowflake, if you set your virtual warehouse to auto scale mode, you can kind of like based on your workload, right? Suppose during peak times, okay, during peak times, users will be more. So in that case, okay, if a lot of users started running their queries, you know, based on, I mean, the power, compute power you are getting, the processor RAM, there is certain limit how many queries you can run parallel at same point of time, right? If it exceeds that power, queries will be waiting in queue. Okay, I'll explain this in detail. So if you set your warehouse to auto scale mode, what it will do is, if the workload is more, it will automatically add clusters of the same size. Suppose if you choose 6XL, during peak time you have chosen 6XL warehouse size, and you are kind of if you set it to auto scale mode, if still any queries are waiting in queue, it will add another cluster. So that way it adds up to 10 clusters. That is 512 into 10. How much? Up to 10 clusters you will be able to add. I mean, it will add automatically. Okay. So it will be like 5,120 compute nodes you would get. Okay. That is, you would get compute, you can increase your compute power to up to this much level. This is one warehouse, one virtual warehouse. You can create multiple virtual warehouses, one for each team, say ETL team one, reporting team one, that way. Got it? Okay. So you can kind of choose multiple, I mean, warehouses for running for your different workloads. So you can think of, if one machine right now, if you take RDBMS, it is single computer, right? If that can handle the queries, if you switch to Snowflake, how much compute power they are going to get. And other thing is, how you'll pay for this computers, this particular virtual warehouses compute power is on second basis. Okay, minimum a minute. After that, it is on second basis. Suppose if your client has used a virtual warehouse of size 6XL for 65 seconds. They'll pay exactly for 65 seconds. Got it? Whenever and they can increase or decrease the warehouse size anytime. Okay, even if they're increasing or decreasing, they'll pay exactly for what they use. See, here you can see right now I have three virtual warehouses, all are in suspended state. Now I will not be paying any cost, any compute power, because right, like based on how much time your warehouse is active, you will pay cost. Suppose if it is, say, it is active for 65 seconds, you will pay exactly for 65 seconds. So your clients, how they'll benefit, they can increase the compute power to any extent, they will pay only for what they use. Got it? That's why a lot of clients are migrating to Snowflake. And other main advantage you have seen, right, it is compatible with all clouds. It is built in scratch from cloud native and cloud agnostic. Okay, it is available on all clouds. Okay, these are some of the technical reasons. Apart from this, a lot of things Snowflake is adding. I told you, right, earlier Snowflake was primarily used as a cloud data warehouse. Okay, give me a second, 1 second. uh, Quickly, let me show you. Initially, Snowflake was used just as a cloud data warehouse. Okay. Now, majority of the clients are using it as a cloud data warehouse. Apart from this, now a lot of new features Snowflake has added. Like, say, they have added a feature called Unistore, with which you can use Snowflake as transactional database as well. Okay. That is, uh, right now it is used only for one purpose. That is a data warehouse. Going forward, it will be used for other workloads as well. Okay. Like, say, they have introduced this Unistore. With that, you can use Snowflake as a OLTP database as well. That is, right now, you can't completely replace your RDBMS, like say Oracle or SQL Server with Snowflake. But once this feature is generally available, right? I mean, once they release this feature, they have already announced it. It is in preview state, sort of. Once this is generally available, they, I mean, a lot of clients will move to Snowflake. Okay, it will attract a lot of clients. So the demand is still going to increase. And other thing is, in order to, you would have heard about Databricks, right? Databricks or Spark. That is also one of the hard skills in market. So within Snowflake, they have added a feature called Snowpark, with which you can kind of use Snowflake as, I mean, whatever functionality you get with Databricks, right? You can do that within Snowflake with this Snowpark feature. And how Snowflake is continuously kind of adding a lot of new features to stay competitive in market. Okay, so that it adds value for the clients, and a lot of clients will move to Snowflake. So if you take, they have acquired one specific startup called Streamlit. How this helps is, the Streamlit will help in building data applications. Like, suppose with this, they have acquired this, and then what they did is they've introduced a feature called Marketplace. Okay, give me a second, let me show you. Here, Snowflake has a lot of unique features. One of the unique features is, like, you can share data with other accounts, okay, based on your requirement. I'll come to the use cases of data sharing. Okay, these are some of the unique features: data sharing and marketplace. What is marketplace is, you can buy and sell data. Suppose you have share market data or healthcare related data. That will be majority of the times. If you take the case of your like share market data, right? The tradings that will be happening, that data will be common for anyone, right? Suppose you are a one of the investment, you are into, your client is into investment domain, so they wanted to do some analysis on stocks, that how stocks are performing, all this stuff, right? Then they don't have to maintain that data. Okay, they can buy that data from this marketplace, that data set, live data. They'll be able to, I mean, you can get with minimal amount. Or else, suppose if you are maintaining that data set in your, by yourself, so that is however public, right? You can sell that data with others and make money. Got it? That kind of features you have in Snowflake. And other thing is, it's not just data, even data applications, like your Google Play Store, right? You will be able to, with this marketplace, since Snowflake has acquired the Streamlit, right? They have introduced a feature with which you can even sell your data applications also in this marketplace. Earlier, it was data marketplace. After acquiring Streamlit, you will be able to share even data apps, right? Now, so they have made it as marketplace, renamed it as marketplace. So you will be able to sell or buy data applications as well. These are all futuristic options, which where you when unique with Snowflake. Got it? Its architecture itself is unique, and a lot of features it has, like say time travel, zero administration, and then you'll pay only for what you use, data sharing, database replication, a lot of features we have. We'll discuss all those features in detail in our regular sessions. But suppose I would like to, already it's more than an hour. So what I would, sorry, yeah, it was 45 minutes, right? Let's quickly show you what are the mandatory skills. Okay, suppose if you have to switch to Snowflake, okay, what are the skills that you have to learn, right? Mandatory skills is core is Snowflake. Okay, Snowflake cloud data. I mean, this particular data warehouse, this particular um, uh, whatever Snowflake cloud data warehouse we are seeing, right? Snowflake data cloud. So you should know end to end all features on Snowflake plus SQL. As I said, SQL is mandatory. Suppose if you're not from SQL background, don't worry. If you're not from data background or IT, so we'll have separate sessions on SQL. Okay, you'll get majority of the stuff what you would get on SQL in interviews or to manage your work. That much level of knowledge will be provided as a part of our SQL sessions. Okay, if you're already from data background, you can skip SQL sessions. I'll let keep you posted tomorrow. So we will start SQL sessions from tomorrow. Say Monday and Tuesday we'll have SQL sessions. The remaining SQL sessions we can continue over the weekends, and um, from Wednesday we'll start Snowflake. Okay, so SQL sessions will be taken separately. They'll not be clubbed with Snowflake. If you are not from data background, you can join them. If you're not familiar with SQL, or if you're not an expert, others can skip this SQL session. They can directly join Snowflake sessions. Apart from Snowflake, I mean, the mandatory skills for you to crack interviews on Snowflake is Snowflake, SQL, data warehousing concepts. What is data warehouse? That will be covering. Okay, and then cloud. So since it is available on all public cloud platforms, right? You will use AWS, Azure, or GCP. Primarily, a lot of clients, right? A lot of projects on Snowflake, they'll be on top of AWS and Azure. Okay, both on AWS and Azure front. Okay, how uh, what services are required for Snowflake? They'll be covered as a part of this training. Okay, so whatever services you need for Snowflake in Azure or AWS, they'll be covered. Okay, you will get that exposure. So if you have this, you can get offer on Snowflake. But apart from this, suppose if you are say 3 to 5 years of experience folk, right? I mean, in overall, if you claim like 3 to 5 years of experience, then if you learn only this part, it will be enough for you to crack interview. Especially say all service-based companies in India, like say Cognizant, LTI Mindtree, TCS, Wipro, all these companies are hiring on Snowflake in bulk. Even you can search in Naukri or LinkedIn. Okay, so what they would expect is this core skill: Snowflake, SQL, data warehousing, and some cloud exposure. Okay, apart from this, if you are more experienced, say you have 8 plus experience, 12 years, 15 years. Okay, see, we have, I mean, so far our candidates from previous batches from different backgrounds, say from complete non-IT backgrounds to say 15 years experience folks in IT, they are able to switch to Snowflake and start working on Snowflake. They got offers and they're already working. A lot of candidates, you have seen, right? Why our candidates are clicking? You will get complete resources to crack interviews on your own. That's the reason. And then see, for more experienced folks, okay, what other skills you need is, if you already know any ETL tool or reporting tool, that will be an advantage. Okay, any RDBMS, SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, PostgreSQL, any RDBMS, any data background plus Snowflake will have advantage. And then what we'll be covering is, along with Snowflake, nowadays if you take DBT, it is an open source a transformation tool. Okay, a lot of clients, US and UK clients, started using this tool. This is very new, and it is like part of modern data stack. It has got its own advantages, like say you can create templates, macros, and reuse the code. Got it? So this is kind of a lot of clients, since it is open source as well, a lot of clients are using this DBT, data build tool. So we will cover Snowflake plus I mean, this mandatory skills plus DBT and some exposure on Matillion or ADF or Fivetran. See, these are like cloud ETL, Matillion, and all this ADF, Fivetran, they're all cloud ETL or ELT tools. Okay, so I'll give some exposure on this. Okay, so that see, core is Snowflake and SQL. Okay. On top of this, whatever skills you have, that will be advantage. Right? Especially for more experienced folks. Like say, if you claim like say 12 years, 15 years overall experience, right? I mean, if you have that much, if you're more experienced folk, then I mean, if you know a lot of skills, it will be advantage, especially in US, right? If you are from US, like DBT with Snowflake combo has a lot of opportunities. Even in India, I mean, India, however, there will be opportunities, but in US, it is different. In India, if you learn only this part, it will be enough. But in US, you'll have to learn other skills as well. See, what they look in India is different. In US is different. If you take in US, they look for more skills. Okay, one person should know a lot of skills. That's what they would expect, not just one. But in India, if your primary skill is one, I mean, if you learn this mandatory skills, that is enough to crack interview on your own. Okay, say for freshers, don't worry, you will get additional assistance to say an SQL, how to get started, all that stuff. Okay, if you see, it will help you for already if you are experienced folk, right? It will help you to to switch to Snowflake. Okay, or if you are already working on Snowflake, you will like it will help you to gain expertise on Snowflake. Say a lot of if you take right now the market, right? Uh, for traditional skills, old skills, market is you don't get even calls nowadays. But for Snowflake, even now there is demand, and it is going to increase as well. Okay, you have seen the advantage, right? What we have with Snowflake technically as well. So we will get you will get to know more on Snowflake features, what other advantages you have, a lot of unique features it has. Okay, and even if you take Snowflake Partner Connect, right, they have very good collaboration with other technology partners. If you go, there is a separate tab, Partner Connect. Okay, here if you observe, they have got very good partnership with DBT. Suppose if you take this is transformation tool, Data Robot, it is for artificial intelligence and machine learning tool. Okay, Alter is a data governance tool. Data Ops is for CI/CD. Don't worry, all this what I am showing is they have Informatica Cloud. Okay, Matillion, and then you have Talent. Okay, so for, they have listed only few in this market. Partner Connect, they have got very good partnership with all technology providers, like say ETL tools, reporting tools. If you take any ETL tool, any reporting tools, right, majority of the tools have got connectors for Snowflake. That is, you can connect to Snowflake with any of the tools. Okay, that is another advantage for Snowflake. Okay, um, so that if the client is already using the tool, they can simply integrate that with Snowflake, right? That way. So that also will attract a lot of clients. Yeah. Now, if you have any doubts, we can discuss. I hope like you got some clarity on what advantage we have with Snowflake architecture, right? Any confusion over there?
No.
Uh, if anyone has any doubts, we can discuss now.
I have one query, Hitesh.
Mm-hmm.
So, exposure to AWS. AWS has nearly hundreds of services.
Yeah, that's what I told you, right? You don't need all the services.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
like,
yeah, I understand that. But
mhm.
we have to see when I'm learning because I have exposure to AWS as well, but not to the AWS DevOps tools like Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, and all that. Do we have to have a look at those tools as
No, it's
well?
not required. Not
Not
required, right?
okay.
So you will not be primarily what you use in terms of Snowflake. Sorry, in cloud, what services you need is. Let me show you. Where is that? Yeah, mainly we'll be using storage service. Okay,
Okay.
even if you know, suppose in AWS, if you know S3,
Yes,
that would be enough. But we'll see some more services
right.
which you frequently use along with
Yeah.
Snowflake. In Azure, if you take Azure Blob storage,
Yeah.
or like ADLS, okay, that
Yeah.
is a service which you need primarily. That is storage service to store your data.
Okay.
Usually, they'll maintain data lake in cloud. Okay, from there you will be loading data, right? So you need that exposure. And then in GCP, you have Google Cloud Storage. That is a service where you can create buckets and store data. You need primarily on that. So see, don't GCP plus Snowflake combo. I mean, projects are less, but primarily the projects are in AWS Azure with Snowflake. I mean, AWS plus Azure or Azure plus Snowflake. That combo. Okay.
In real time,
Mm-hmm.
my exposure towards stored procs and window functions is not that much because currently I write views and multiple
See,
subjoins.
yeah, I got it. See, primarily in Snowflake, even if you are not from data background, what advantage you have is, since Snowflake projects are migration projects, right?
Mm.
Suppose you have some data in SQL Server, you will be migrating that to Snowflake. In this case, majority of the projects will be as is migration. What they will do is, whatever data you have, they'll migrate to Snowflake. Suppose if you have some functions, procedures in SQL Server, the same logic they'll try to migrate it to Snowflake. I mean, they'll try to create it in Snowflake. With since it is migration, you don't have to write logic from scratch. Got
Mm.
it? You'll
Okay.
have to kind of I mean make so as is it will not work because there will be some data type compatibility issues and all between, say, suppose SQL Server and Snowflake. You will have to make some minor changes and create that in Snowflake. You'll not be creating from writing that logic from scratch.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, yeah, got it. Because in the ETL process, that is what we are doing currently, writing from
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So you don't have to worry much, and you don't need expert level SQL. But I mean, if you are expert, that is well and good. Mid level of knowledge, I mean, expertise is what is required on SQL side. Got it?
Uh, after the end of the session on weekdays, what is the
Hmm.
window time that you're free that you can ask any queries? Because when we are
See,
working,
end of that session every day, you can ask me the session. I am the trainer, right? And you can ping me anytime in WhatsApp. Okay, if you are, say, suppose if you are, I mean, practicing something, you're facing some error, you
mm,
have some doubt, you can ping me out there. Okay, don't worry. And even now, if you take see, since a lot of our candidates are able to get offers, right? Majority of them, even in the current demo, are referred by someone. Okay, that way, that's how we used to get candidates as well for training.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. If there is any query, I'll ping you separately.
Sure. If anyone has any doubts, you can ping me separately. And if you're not already part of, I mean, my WhatsApp group, right? I hope like you are already part of. Majority of you are part of my WhatsApp group. If not, you can join this specific group, WhatsApp group. I'm pinging that in the chat. You can join this specific WhatsApp group if you're not part of. I hope majority of them are a part of this group. If you're already part, you don't have to join. Others can join if you're not
I
in
have
a
a question.
WhatsApp group. Yep.
Yeah, so my question is that I'm not from the ETL background and I have very limited knowledge of the SQL as well. So
Mhm.
after doing this training course, how much experience I can show in my CV, and then
Yeah, see,
whether I
I
will be
told you,
able
right?
to. Mhm.
You don't ETL is not mandatory. Okay. So if this is these are the mandatory skills for you to crack into. That will be covering everything. Okay. So Snowflake end to end, SQL, data warehousing, cloud few storage services. Got it? So if you are not from IT background, this is enough. But we'll be giving some overview on this. These are ETL tools. Suppose if you take Matillion is ELT tool, ADF is cloud Azure Data Factory. Okay, this is an Azure. Okay, Fivetran is an ETL tool, cloud ETL tool. Got it? So this will give you some exposure. So since will be even this ETL tools right now. See, another thing with ETL is, if you take earlier, there used to be the entire market, right? Used to be, I mean, few tools used to rule the market in ETL. Suppose Informatica was ruling market all these days, right? Now it's not the case. Okay. See, Informatica license cost is more. So if you take a lot of cloud-based ELT tools came, okay, say Matillion, Fivetran, a lot of other tools are also there. See, clients based on the requirement, based on their, I mean, whatever they want, like they'll go for different tools. Okay, so what they'll look for is, this is the core. If you're strong with these things, then if learning a ETL tool, cloud-based ETL tools is simple. You can learn it in 2-3 days. They'll give you training and they'll give you enough time to get started with that ETL tools. Got it? This is the core for anything. Okay.
Okay, got it. So just after doing this course, I mean, are we able to crack the interview, and will we be covering the real life scenario? Actually, what is actual work is going on in the office with
Yeah,
this?
like you topic wise, whatever issues you face, whatever scenarios, right? Majority of the stuff will be covered. Okay, I'll share you the course content as well. I didn't show that. Like, let me show you the course content. You'll get on Snowflake front end to end, everything will be covered. Okay, course content.
Hitesh, any certification point of view, any certification
Yes,
perspective?
you can easily crack Snowpro certification as well after this training. You'll get. I'll share you dumps for you. Once the majority of the interview point of view as well as certification point of view, whatever the interview preparation kit I shared, right? I'll be sharing.
Sure.
They'll be covered in that particular kit. But I'll
Yeah,
share
because
for your practice end of the training. I'll share a couple of dumps. You can practice them and you can easily crack Snowpro certification as well. Okay. So
But is
that
it
that is the
even
an advantage when we face interviews, right? Because
if you are
as of
more
now, we
experienced, it will be
are,
advantage. Say if you are more
yeah.
than eight plus or 9+ experience, right? 12 years, 15 years, then it will help. And even in US, it will help if you're certified.
How much it would be the cost for the
It
certificate
will
to
be
get?
$175, close to 16,000 in Indian currency.
Sure, sure. Thanks.
$175. Yeah. And it will have like 100 questions. You should get 750 out of 1,000. 100 questions you'll have. I'll share dumps for you, which will help you. What kind of things, and we'll be covering all those scenarios as well in our training. Got
Hitesh,
it?
share this document also because even
Sure, sure.
for we
I'll be
want
sharing all
to
the
share with
I'll,
others.
I'll be sharing all these things. Okay. Whatever we discussed today,
Yeah, and course content as well. Yeah.
yes, I'll be sharing. Yes. Course content
Ah,
like will be covering all real issues what you face, right? And scenarios. Suppose incremental loads. Okay. How will implement SAD type 1, type 2? See, if you're not from data background, don't worry. All the terms, if you're you might be listening first time, but in our regular sessions, you'll get complete overview on them. Okay. On Snowflake front, end to end, like will be covered. Apart from this, you will get exposure on whatever services you need on cloud, and then like see so far whoever has learned, whoever has see, if you have to crack interview, what is expected from you is dedication to learn, okay, and then after you learn, you can kind of you should start giving interviews. You can easily crack. Few folks, what they will do is they'll learn like they wanted to be perfect, 100% perfect. No one will be 100% perfect, guys. At least if you start giving, you can easily crack interviews. That way it is. Simply if you learn and leave, it is of no use. See, usually you
Okay.
don't get all the resources, especially the interview preparation kit with questions, answers, and even the complete resources you are getting. Usually, no one will share all the resources. My intention is whoever joins, they should get benefited out of this course. Okay. So if you have to get benefited, if you show dedication, if you learn, if you follow whatever we are covering, that will be more than enough to crack interview on your own. And even
Okay.
if your intention is to crack Snowpro certification, you can crack. You can see day wise all the resources you would get. Okay, all topic wise interview questions, answers, and then the complete end to end exposure on Snowflake. Yeah.
Okay. And do we need to know Spark or PySpark with this, or that is separate? Not part
No,
of
no,
it.
that is not required.
Okay.
See,
Okay.
that is a new skill, features which Snowflake has added. It is still in initial phase. Okay. If you are say already from Databricks or a Spark background, then like if you learn Snowflake, it will be advantage because you will be learning the core, right? This is not. This is a new feature. Still, clients are kind of doing some POCs and in initial phases. They're not using Snowpark in production environment. Got it? These are, see, earlier you are not having all these features, these game changing features, whatever we are discussing, right? They were not there in Snowflake. They were recently added features. So with this, if you take earlier, without these features itself, you have a lot of demand. Once those features are available, the demand is still going to increase. That's what I wanted to highlight. Got it? So the future of Snowflake will be good. And see, they started it as a cloud data warehouse, right? Now, if you see, you can use it for a lot of other workloads. You can use it as a data lake. You can use it as a, for data engineering workloads with Snowpark. and then you can use it as transactional database with Unistore. So this will kind of attract a lot of new clients. They wanted to make Snowflake as like a one stop for all their data needs. Any client, if they go for Snowflake, they don't have to look for any other services outside or tools outside. They wanted to make Snowflake that way. Yeah.
Hi, Hitesh.
Hi.
Yep.
Uh, I have some few questions. Like,
Sure.
so as you said, SQL sessions are taken by separately, right? Those are the covered as part of this course only, or
Yes,
is
yes,
it a
it will be
separate?
part of this course only. But as I said, if we suppose now we have a mix of candidates, right? Say if you are already from data background, if you are from non-data background, non-IT background, for them, like separate session, SQL will not be kind of, I mean, covered in our Snowflake sessions. They'll be taken separately. And few
Yeah.
things like which are specific to Snowflake, right? Say procedures, functions, they'll be taken in our Snowflake sessions itself. The basic content will be taken separately if you're not from
Oh,
data background, basic SQL sessions.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So, okay, that's fine.
Because,
And
because if we take SQL even regular sessions, who are already from data background, they get bored, right? So we're not covering that in that. That's it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So that's what I want actually. I'm interested to join that sessions as well. And
Sure, sure.
my second section is in this course curriculum. So, is any
Mhm.
project is covered for this? Like,
Yeah, you'll be getting complete end to end. Like see, you will be, suppose if you claim certain experience, right? You should know how to explain your project in interview.
ah,
For
uh,
that also you'd get complete content. Say I'll share you a template with. Right now I was earlier I used to give it only on AWS. Now since a lot of see the complete content, how to explain your project in your interviews, right? You would get
oh,
all the, I mean, the complete resources. So
oh,
that's why our candidates are clicking. You got it right. You'll get
yes,
complete resources. Yeah.
yes.
Usually, yeah. When I see, I started training in like December 2021. Okay, it's
Oh,
been close to 1.5 years.
yes,
So when I started my first batch, it was like candidates have learned it, but due to some issues, the way, I mean, they were not able to project that clearly in interviews. I mean, they have learned all the concepts, but
okay,
they used to fail in interviews. I mean,
yeah,
initially, first batch. So
okay,
that's when I connected with them and I got to know where they are lagging is due to some communication issues. Suppose if they ask you to tell about project, right? I
huh,
mean, they don't know how to explain. Okay,
yes,
that's when
yeah,
I started giving these resources for them. Then everyone, I mean, see, as soon as you start your interview, what
yeah.
you should explain, how you should explain, all those tips you would be getting, and you'll get that content as well, so that you can crack interviews and go.
Yes, Hitesh. I got you. Actually, what your presentation is very good, and then what you are giving the resources is also very good. So actually, the we didn't see till now that much of like what you are uploading those type of videos and related to the content. All these things is very good. It will be
That's good.
helpful. Uh, and what is the timings for this course? Like,
Yeah, timings will be in the morning, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. Indian time,
okay,
7:30
7
to 8:30 a.m. Yeah.
8:30 and
So
when it
Monday
will
and
be
Tuesday
regular
will have,
classes? Will be,
yeah, tomorrow onwards we'll have regular. Monday and Tuesday will have SQL sessions. Okay, who are
okay,
not from data background, they can join.
yeah,
Others who are from data background, Snowflake content will be started from Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday morning,
yes,
7:30 a.m. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'll
okay,
keep you
okay.
posted in the group. I hope already majority of you have joined. Are part of my WhatsApp group. If not, I shared the link in the chat, right? You can join that. If you are not part of WhatsApp group, if you're already
Okay.
part, you don't have to join.
Yes. And what about this software for the practice? Like,
You
are you
don't have
giving
to.
to
That's
me?
what it is. Not, you don't have to install any software. Okay,
Okay,
you have seen,
okay,
right? It is like Snowflake is software as a service. So how
okay.
you will access is you will create your Gmail account, right? The same way
Yeah.
you will create an account in for Snowflake and you will log in with browser and internet. Got it?
Okay,
And it is
okay.
you'll
I
get
see some
30
like
days.
this.
Yeah, it is like you'll get 30 days free trial account. Okay, you
Okay,
don't have like other clouds like say Azure and AWS. You don't need to provide your debit or credit card details. You just need a mail ID. Okay, with
okay,
one mail ID, you can create a trial account. You will get 30 days. Again, suppose with same mail ID also you can tweak it and use it for 3 months. Okay, I'll show you how it is, and then
oh,
like there are. mm, I mean like see, if even if it's not one mail ID, if you want, you can create with another mail ID, you'll be able to create, right, another account.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't, unless you are passing any credit or debit card details, then it'll be an issue. Because if you take any Azure or this cloud part, I mean cloud, if you have to create cloud account, you'll have to
Okay.
pass debit or credit card details. The same
Oh,
debit or credit card details, again, it will not accept if you try to create a account once the trial expires. Got it? But
oh,
Snowflake, yeah, since you don't have to pass anything, since it's just mail ID, right? It should not be an issue. Yeah.
okay. And the course duration is 1 month or like
It'll
how
be
much?
45 hours of content. Since, see,
Oh,
earlier I was covering the core content, but now since we are adding some more things, right? Uh,
yeah.
see, um, demand is always there, but what advantage you get if you learn other tools apart from this mandatory skills is, sometimes if you have, I mean, that exposure. Suppose if you take DBT, this is new. In India also there is demand for this combo plus DBT now, data build tool.
Oh,
So if you learn
okay.
this, if you put at least this in your CV, wherever this demand is there, you will be given bit more package. Got it?
Yeah, that you are covering, right? As
Yes,
part of
yes,
this course now.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's,
Ah, okay, okay. And so as per your demo, like what I understand, right? So without any knowledge, like without any, even if freshers also, so if you learn this course, so what type of roles will get? Suppose if I
it
learn the
is.
Informatica, I will go for Informatica developer
This is
production support.
Snowflake developer. Snowflake developer will be the role. Snowflake developer, lead, architect, manager.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
So you'll be
okay,
able to, since we are covering from basic to advanced, right? Like
okay,
you'll be able to clear any rounds, but majorly more opportunities will be as a Snowflake developer. Even admin,
oh,
Snowflake admin also, nowadays there are opportunities. So
mhm,
Snowflake admin as well, majority of the I mean stuff what you do as a Snowflake admin, that also will be covered. Okay.
okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And even
So,
if it is architect, like say, usually what he will be designing the solutions, right? Since we are covering all features and what are the
mhm,
use cases when you will use that feature, right? So
okay,
he will be able to propose solutions. And I'll, in the end, in the project overview, I'll explain what
okay,
technology stack you'll use in projects. I mean, suppose if you go for Azure, what are
okay,
the tech, I mean, other services they'll use along with Snowflake, so that if someone, if more experienced guy, if they wanted to propose some solution as an architect, they'll be able to do leads,
okay.
architects, admins. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Got it, got it. So as you said, like if you learn this course, we will go as a Snowflake developer. If you
yeah,
don't know anything, if you have any ETL background like Informatica Power Center, like that will be add an advantage, as you just said,
correct,
right?
correct. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so thank you so much, Hitesh. So I will ping you personally for
sure, sure.
the.
If anyone has any doubts, you can ping me separately. No,
And Hitesh, any plan for the evening session as well?
no, like I'm also working. I'm working like for a UK client, so now like it'll be tough for me to take any. Earlier, I used to take one batch in the evening, and I used to take separate batch for SQL and I mean for data background folks and non-data background folks. But now, since there is no way, and it until this batch is done, I'll not be starting any other batch. Okay, only one batch will be running. So it'll be like it'll take like 45 to 50 days. 45 days you can take. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Hitesh, ADF is covering as part of this course, like Azure developer.
ADF not to expert level, at least like say how to get started with Snowflake and ADF. Okay,
Oh,
we will
okay,
get
okay.
that expert. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
core like Snowflake expert level, like these skills, whatever mandatory skills you need, right? They'll be covered in depth. Okay,
Yeah,
other
yeah. Thank
things you'll get some overview like how to get started. If you need to deep dive, I'll share additional resources for you to say how to I mean gain expertise on those other skills as well. Okay.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Anyone has any questions?
Yeah, hi, Hitesh. We'll cover admin part as well in this course.
Yes, like admin, primarily what you do is, as I showed, you will be creating data shares, role-based access control, and
Yeah.
then like storage integration setup. So data sharing, data cloning, all those things will be covered in depth. So you can uh, like
Okay.
kind of yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the information.
Mhm. So 80 to 90% of DBA content also will be covered. Okay, if you need further, I'll share you resources what you have to focus on. If you wanted to see Snowflake admin, The opportunities, if you take right in numbers, it will be less, but no one are there with that experience. Snowflake
Yes.
admin, like if you don't find any resources in market
Yeah.
with that profiles, those profiles you won't get. So even if it is less, I mean less number of openings, if you if you find that opportunity, right, you can easily crack, and you can even whatever you ask the package also you'll get more. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? If anyone has any confusion or doubts, you can ping me separately as well in the WhatsApp. As I said, if
Hitesh,
you're
any
not part of my
programming
WhatsApp group,
language,
you can join the group here. I have shared the link again. If you're
Hitesh,
not,
any
if you're already
program,
part, you don't have to join. Yeah. Someone has a
any
doubt.
programming language or scripting we should be
SQL
thorough,
is
like have.
mandatory. Okay.
Okay.
SQL is
Okay.
mandatory. If you, I mean, Python is not mandatory, but if you learn, it will be an advantage. Okay. With say, I have shown one few features, right? Sorry.
Yeah, when you
Python,
say
Spark.
Snowflake
Yeah.
developer, we need to develop the only the scripting or any programmatic like that.
SQL is what is required. Okay. Core is
Sure. Okay.
SQL. Apart from that, if you have any other skills, that will be advantage. But SQL is mandatory. It is like a database, you can say, cloud database. Okay.
Yeah,
SQL is what is required.
yeah,
But
Hi
if you take,
Hitesh.
yeah, yep,
yeah.
Yeah, hi Hitesh. Sridhar here.
yep,
So thanks
yeah.
for your presentation. But how about for a non-technical software of IT people? So the
Yeah, that's what
SQL
I
you are
told you,
going to
right?
teach? Yeah.
Yeah, SQL I will be covering. Don't worry.
Okay, SQL will be covering. Okay,
Mhm.
so is there SQL will be covering all the sessions in the from on Monday and Tuesday?
Monday and Tuesday will have the remaining content will cover over the weekends. So Wednesday
Ah,
onwards, we'll start Snowflake content.
okay,
At
fine.
least say when we start, see it'll come in a flow. Okay, say
Yeah, yeah,
whatever is required for you to get started, right? You should know few basics of database
yeah,
SQL,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
That will
Yep,
be
yeah,
completed in these two sessions. Then we'll start with Snowflake, and
sure.
remaining SQL stuff will be covered later. I mean, over the
Yeah,
weekends or over the weekend, I mean, in the evening times, whenever. Okay.
okay, yeah,
Mhm.
all right.
I'll keep you posted in the group. Okay.
Sure.
Then we'll be start. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
all the updates will be getting there. Whenever we
Definitely.
have a SQL session, I'll post it in the group. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah,
Hitesh. Thanks for the
Mhm.
session.
yeah. Hi, Tesh, Ravi, this side.
Yeah, Ravi.
Yeah, I have one question regarding the servers. Like you talked about virtual
Yeah.
warehouses,
Hmm.
where our
Yeah.
queries will
See,
execute,
yeah, I'll
right?
explain. Give me, let me tell you. See, whatever I explained is on high level.
Yeah.
In our regular sessions, we'll have a dedicated session, two sessions on virtual warehouse itself, because that
Okay.
is very important concept. Say, even as a developer, lead architect, whatever role you go for,
Mm.
since in Snowflake, primary cost is associated with compute, right? You should
Yes.
know in detail on virtual warehouse. What is it? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be discussing that in detail. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
My
your doubt?
question. Yeah, my
Mhm.
question is here we have virtual warehouses and storage, right?
Hmm.
So this both will be different servers. That is the one question. And
No, yeah,
second,
it will be separate, right? Storage is stored in cloud. All your data
yeah,
will be stored in cloud. Virtual warehouses, you can choose whichever one you want. I
yeah, yeah.
mean,
It's a
whatever
cloud
size.
means, I mean, it is in cloud, but
Huh.
machines will be different, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
query
It
processing
is
machine
not
is
coupled.
different.
Correct. This is separate. Storage is separate. Compute is separate. There is no
Okay,
dependency between these two, like your RDBMS.
okay. So one more question I have, like, do we configure it like how this virtual server knows that this is my storage?
No, no, you don't have to do. It is independent. Say now, if you say, you'll get to know. Say you can have different virtual warehouses, one for ETL team, one for reporting team. That way,
Mhm.
okay. Using any virtual warehouse, you can access the data in your cloud. It is
Like
not based on.
how this
It is
virtual
not tied.
server knows that
It
where
is
my
not
data
tied with
stored?
your. It is not tied with your like storage layer. Okay, your virtual warehouses are not tied with. There is no dependency as such. As I said,
Mhm.
all see how you'll get to know is this the coordination between storage and compute is done in cloud services. There is another
Okay,
layer, right?
okay.
This is
There
like
will
brain of this
configure.
Snowflake. This is like brain of this Snowflake architecture. It coordinates between your storage and compute. Got it?
Okay. So here it means like we'll configure in the cloud services where our virtual server is there
You
and
don't
our
have to do
storage.
anything. You don't have to do any configuration. Since
Okay.
Snowflake is software as a service, that's what
Okay.
you don't have to focus on infrastructure. You don't have to
Okay.
focus on any configuration.
Okay.
Everything will be taken care by Snowflake. What you have to worry is how you'll load data, how you'll manage your data, and how you'll use it for your analysis. That's what you have to focus on. Got it?
Okay. It will automatically take. Okay.
Yeah. Even if you take, like, say, creating partitions, creating indexes, these kind of things also you don't have to worry. It will be taken care by Snowflake itself in the backend internally. Got it?
Okay.
That's what you will get to know. So I told you, right? Snowflake is software as a service. So all that stuff, like, it will take care in the backend.
Okay.
It not manually. They'll have their own algorithms which will kind of run in backend, and they'll create micro partitions, and even for performance tuning. Okay, all that stuff will be done in the backend by Snowflake.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we performing
yes.
any query from these virtual warehouses,
Mhm.
it will bring the data from storage to virtual warehouses, then perform the this
You will
query
get to
process.
know. Yeah, you will
Okay.
get to know. We'll be covering all that stuff in the back end. See, majority of the folks,
Okay.
they know theory part, like what really happens in the back end when you submit a query, right?
Yes.
I'll show you that. Like, there are, we'll in our regular sessions, I'll show you. Okay,
Okay.
how it gets what will happen when you submit a query, basically. Okay, how
Okay.
it gets
Got it.
data, all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Hitesh, for the SQL classes tomorrow is the same timings or
Yeah,
any?
7:30 to 8:30 in the morning.
Okay, okay. From tomorrow. Right.
Yeah. I'll update in the group.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Even if you have any doubts, you can ping me separately in WhatsApp as well. If you have any other doubts, if you, as I said, if you're not already part of WhatsApp group, you can join the link, the group, whichever I have pasted in the chat. Any other questions? Anyone else? See, don't get confused. In our regular sessions, you'll get more clarity. I explained on high level on architecture, right? In regular sessions, you'll get complete clarity on architecture as well, like storage, query processing, virtual warehouses, all that stuff. Okay. Anyone? Any questions? Ravi, Chandana, Giri, Gopi. Kiran.
From my side.
No, Hitesh, it's good.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
Who has doubts, they can stay. Others can drop off. I'll keep you posted in the group. Okay. Pavani,
Okay,
Sagar,
thank you.
Samuel.
Yeah. Thank you, Hitesh.
Anyone? Any questions?
No doubt. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. This.
Thank you, Hitesh.
Yeah. Whoever has doubts, they can stay in the call. I'll be there for some more time. If you have any doubts, I'm stopping the recording as well.